But never get away. I would rather wait. Peel off the whole- trees.
Huh?
Great.
They can be fine.
Well, they could be here. Sure.
Quiet. I want you to think more.
So what is this?
That's the bar across the street.
Oh, okay. Fancy.
The, he's played,
McDugout. McDugout.
I'm McDonald.
McDugout.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, you can take them under your two.
Well, neighbors.
I'm gonna be honest. I have not heard of my friend.
Different times bring different.
It's okay, that's happened to me
It's been one of those.
before, you know,
I was gonna say.
traveling on my way home.
A little butchy.
You know, or if, really is lucky. In fact, one time I was like 20 minutes late.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Come
because
back
you
from
were.
Mass, and traffic was all blocked up.
Yeah.
I'm a little shocked. You're telling. All right.
See, this is what worries me is this big pile of stuff here.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about. That's okay. You know, I've really taken the approach of this of the organization of learning, like being here and learning so much, you know, trying. Cause you guys have done, how many years have you been on?
Yeah, there's an argument.
Okay, so you got.
Like Mike and.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jerry's got a lot of history. Yeah, exactly. So I figure it's good for me to be here, if nothing else, so that when people start hiring, somebody's got.
Yeah.
field vision.
This is all this is.
But it, oh yeah, his response is right here. I gotta get that out too.
Well,
Oh, here it is. Look, you're checking it. Don't throw that away.
Yeah.
Or the village board.
Oh.
Some of them did not out of their wallet. If you tell them a percentage, you would have been one or not the other. Doesn't compute.
We could get it. And we compound it until that time. You know, 20, 30.
Right.
You know,
Right. I was just talking to a lady today, about it. She was asking me about it. They said, well, right now, we got to fire. Because we have it with the water. And she said, really? I said, oh.
yeah, nobody's really reaching that. We're somewhat not sure. I'm gonna say, whatever the bill is, we've got to pay for it.
Mike Grimm just joined our meeting. That must be Cynthia.
What you have to remember is that we have this station.
I sent her a message. Hi, Cynthia.
Full type EMP. And that's what you're gonna want when you need them. Not a monthly basis, but when you need them. That's where the important, and she said, well, then it makes sense.
Where I grew up. So they were never late.
We just had those little station wagons like ambulances.
Colleen,
We're on.
are we recording?
We're recording. We're live.
I didn't hear it say recording.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry it did.
Is there a way to just lock the owl so that it's fixed on like the
Yeah.
board, so it's not bouncing around?
I think I can do that, sure. I mean.
If you can.
Yeah.
All right, I'd like to call the Village of Land and Plan Commission meeting to order for Thursday, August 29th, 2024 at 6:30 PM. You'll all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remove your headgear.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just a quick reminder, we have a lot of folks. If you haven't already silenced your cell phones, please do so now. Thank you. Item 3, roll call. Grimm.
Here.
Lake.
Here.
Levold. Absent. Newman.
Here.
Janice.
Here.
Daylightner is also absent and Yates is present. Item 4, statement of public notice. Thank you. Item number 5, discussion and possible approval of Plan Commission meeting minutes from 7/25/24.
I was gonna say, I couldn't find mine.
Me too, I missed that.
I would entertain a motion to table item 5.
I make a motion table number 5.
I'll second.
We have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor to table the approval of the minutes?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You may, fellow commissioners may notice that the microphones are working again now a little bit better, so don't get too close.
No, they're not. Oh, Cynthia.
Yeah. Can you mute the,
Yeah.
all right, item number 6, citizen comments. Do you have any citizen comments? Mr. Summers?
Just one that'll probably be discussed later with the school, but just to point out, there's like I believe it is a 10,000 gallon cistern there. That probably hasn't been touched since the fire department left it. That I think could be a huge safety issue if it's not addressed.
Okay, thank you. Any other citizen comments? No, hearing none, we'll move on. Item number 7. Discussion and possible action on additional documentation requested for McDugout Pub and Grill, 7273 North Landon Road, Landon, Wisconsin, 53046.
It's
See,
submitted.
Ben or Brenda, do you have any comments on the satisfaction of some of the conditional items that we had placed on their opening?
And you have a copy of,
I gave, I've got a copy of the floor plan on the desk here.
okay,
Updated plan of operation is submitted.
Yeah, I see that, and I see a sign permit application. I don't
That's the next
believe
agenda.
that another, yes.
Yeah.
Brenda, do you recall in the minutes from last meeting what you were looking for? I believe
Looking at, EGH. On the plan of operation. So,
Yeah, we had suggested a better description of business operations, which they have expanded their description here. G, they've added the tax key number and zoning along with the legal description. Several other components to that. H looks to be more complete. And I believe they also provided a written description of plantings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Along with, it appears a little more updated color coded site map.
and plus the interior, okay.
for the interior, you're saying you're gonna have live music? Are you gonna be having a stage in there, or where are you gonna have the live music if you?
Back wall. Back
Yes,
wall in the
it
old
was
days.
always a stage.
Yeah, that's, it's.
It's still there.
Okay.
Like that, wall on the floor.
Accepted. Thank you, see you lady.
Yeah.
If we feel good about having a complete application and plan of operation here now? Ben, do you concur?
I have not reviewed the updated plan of operation.
Okay,
But I would say if you guys feel good about it.
we'll take that as a yes. Okay. We'll put Brenda's name on
So then I'll make a motion that we accept the updated plan of operation for McDougall Oven Grill.
it. We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, any other discussion? I will just say thanks, guys, for getting this back to us in a timely fashion as requested. We appreciate that. All those in favor?
Because it does lift their temporary status to a permanent status.
Yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, discussion of possible action on sign permit application for McDougall Pub and Grill, 7273 North Landon Road, Wisconsin. Landon, Wisconsin, 53046.
Looks like a sign.
Yep.
Looks like a sign.
Looks like the sign.
Yes.
I see it's the same contractor that's been doing it every time someone moves in there, so. I make a motion to approve the sign permit for McDougall.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now you're really official. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Are you open on Thursday nights?
Yeah.
Currently, we are open, but,
People are thirsty over there right now.
Excuse me. All right, moving on. Item number 9, discussion and possible action on Landon Elementary School addition and renovation. 7145 North Landon Road, Landon, Wisconsin, 53046. I'll let Ben start us off on this one.
Okay, thank you. First off, I had Nicole Wellenstein in her office help out with this review, and we've kind of collaborated on this letter here. Suffice to say that we've reviewed the ordinances particular to the institutional districts. Institutional site plan requirements and building requirements are subject to the same zoning code ordinances that industrial, multifamily, and everyone else is, and that's namely section 78-122 and 123. So the letter kind of contains our summary of the review of this application compared to that. I want to summarize my comments for you and just kind of lay out what the big picture things are. So first of all, there's, as I think everyone knows, this is for a building addition. This was tied to the referendum that passed earlier in the year, et cetera. They're taking the big open grass area to the west of the current building. They're extending the building into that and subsequently the parking lot, et cetera. They will have to comply with stormwater management requirements. They're planning on putting 2 stormwater management ponds over in that area. And those ponds are going to discharge off of the northwest corner down the private drive where there is existing storm sewer there. They laid out the ponds. We just got a stormwater management plan today. That was one of the comments in the letter. And I'll tell you that downstream where the storm sewer eventually connects into the rest of the system is kind of where the entrance of the private drive on Good Hope intersects by the Schlafer Auto Body parcel in Good Hope Road. So here's the trick. Everything feeding to that connection point is 12-inch. And then there's like a short 6-foot piece of 6-inch pipe. And then it goes into the Good Hope Road storm sewer. I contacted Schlafer. I said, hey, does this ever flood? He said, no, we never see water backed up in here because here's what happens if that gets overloaded. that, there's a manhole just kind of in the grass terrace there between Schlafer and the private drive and Good Hope Road. That would probably back up at that point and then run by surface into Good Hope Road, get into the inlet and go on. They said they practically never, can't recall that ever backing up. So the challenge to, the engineer for the school district here is to just demonstrate, strategy we've kind of come to an agreement on is demonstrate that the runoff release rate is equal to or less than what the current condition is through that storm sewer. So we just received the documentation of that today. My concern at the time of sending this letter yesterday was sometimes stormwater management ponds can get shown as a general representation, and it's kind of going to be designed and signed appropriately later. If there's some kind of condition like this that could suddenly cause a problem, those requirements can make the ponds get a lot bigger. And we want to make sure that was well thought out. So the fact that they submitted the stormwater plan, we haven't reviewed it yet, but just kind of perusing a few things in there before leaving the office today. It feels like things are on the right track and I'm more comfortable with that. Just be aware that it's evident they're doing their due diligence on the storm water management plan for the site, and that's being reflected here in several plans. We'll just be paying close attention to see that the release rate from the ponds in the northwest corner is not going to cause an adverse condition down there. The other thing I asked for was a site photometric plan. They also sent that today. I handed out this kind of copy of that to plan commissioners, and I put some red circles along the north property line. Our very own Mike Grimm has complained in the past about light spillage from the lights at the school. And there's some notes on the photometric that say, hey, any light spillage over 0.2 candle watts at the property line is kind of due to existing poles. I haven't sorted that out yet, but I'll be, when the applicant gets a chance to talk here, I want a further explanation on that. And I hear from Commissioner Grimm if it's still an issue, and if there's something that can be done about that. The landscaping plan was another item on here that was missing. To be blunt, I don't care. Other than that, the plantings stay outside of the vision triangles, etc., and that they meet the general quantity, etc., of what the code requires. We expect to make sure that it looks like no vehicles are going to be parked within 10 feet of the property line. I would look when the applicant gets a chance to speak, just would be interested in some commentary from them on total number of spaces, the adequacy of that, loading areas. It's not clear on the plans where the dumpster is, the dumpster access and screening, and that's just kind of what the plan for buses are, if there's any chance that suddenly buses are going to be staged in a new spot that they weren't before, etc., just so that residents can be aware. But at the end of the day, it's a school, it's zoned for a school, it's still going to be a school. Lastly, the connection here is off of Landon Road, which is County Highway wide. So while we don't have any jurisdiction of that, we would typically just ask, along with the plan of operations submittal, that they provide documentation from the county, either in the form of an email from Jason Mayer over there, or in the form of a copy of their permit that can just be stuck in the file, so to speak, with the plan of operation. Since they are moving the south entrance, it looks like they're abandoning the current one and then moving it down to the southern end of the property line. Just that there were that we can say that they did their due diligence in it. We did also ask that they add existing easement boundaries on there. Where they're planning on moving the south entrance to is where water main went through a couple of years ago. I don't have any concerns about the entrance being in conflict with the water main or causing any problems in that regard. I just want the easement shown on the drawing. Those are the comments.
That's it?
That's a summary, sorry, yes. So stormwater, I feel a lot better about. Site photometric, I think plan commission should discuss. Everything else is just kind of some routine boxes that we want to see checked, but won't have a lot of comments on.
Okay, we have some representatives here, I believe. Why don't we?
I'd also like to hear about, plans about sprinklering, if you've been in touch with the Menominee Falls Fire Department. So,
Yes.
So why don't you folks go ahead and you can maybe address some of Mr. Wood's comments and then we can open it up with some questions from the commission.
Let's start with the six.
Sure, I guess from a stormwater standpoint, we'll continue to work with the city staff and, get everything addressed so that we're not, we're gonna protect and ensure that we're not overloading the downstream from us and continue to make sure that that is not. We have been working with the fire department, right now we're in conversations with, locating where a new hydrant for the site. We're working on figuring out that with the fire department right now. From a sprinkler standpoint, because that would probably.
Yeah, the existing building is not sprinkled, so we're gonna bring in a new line to sprinkle the addition. And then the addition is separated from the existing building with a fire wall. So that portion will be sprinkled and not the existing. In terms of the fire hydrant, we are adding one. They requested, I talked to the deputy and now we thought. And, he talked to the chief there and they're pretty content with everything that's going on with the site plan, with the exception of the fire hydrant. The one that is currently out there, that's over on the land, too far away. And I know that there's one to the south and then one way on the west side.
Yeah. Overall.
So they just wanna add one of them to more towards the front of the building within 150 feet of the, FBC. So that's pretty much all they really want, so, we'll send an additional plan to them once we get that rolling, and so that they have it on. So,
Other side on the bus traffic.
the bus traffic, okay, so the whole project was in an effort to, increase, safety, and separate buses from cars for pickup and drop off, so the intent is that currently the bus event, the cars come in through that side, and they kind of loop their way around and they go out the same way. So what we're doing now is we're gonna have buses all be on the north side, they're gonna basically take that same loop. And the cars are going to come around and they're gonna kids will be picked up in the back, so it'll be a separated situation.
That's the need for the two, so what we're doing is we're essentially abandoning the existing, what's called the southern drive on the north side. And we're kind of merging those two together and then we're adding another drive on the south side instead, so that the cars can exit out of that drive and the buses can exit out of the north drive when they're ready to departure.
Right. And then on the south side, there's, play equipment and things, which the ones that are closer to Lemon Road are going to be demolished, and then we won't be replacing those, but there's a couple new ones that they have. We're gonna take those out of the south side and push them over to the west side of the site, so that they're away from all that, from the cars.
So am I correct in that? I know there's currently a paved pedestrian path on that south side that goes down to Parkview. Is that where you're proposing an exit?
No, the exit would still be on Lennon Road.
Okay.
It would be closer to the south, east corner of the site.
Yeah, if you picture a U shape, so from the north, it goes in and then it's all the way around and it's out there.
You can show us a C 300. Yeah, C 300.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes, 300 would kind of lay that out.
Yeah.
Will you have enough room? You're adding like 9 classrooms, so that's potentially 9 buses. I mean, is that gonna be enough room for the buses? And the cars to enter in there? I mean,
Well,
how,
the cars are gonna all be on the south side, they're not gonna be able to pick up on the north. So the north side is gonna be strictly buses and that'll take up that whole entire length and all the way around.
But are they gonna enter through the
The north.
north side?
Yes,
So my question is, are you gonna have enough room with the additional maybe 9 buses to what you have now? Is that gonna clog up that both lanes of that, the turning
They're
area?
gonna- When they come in, they're gonna be parked along the north, and as you work your way around, there'll be additional ones coming down. So we're eliminating all the cars that are there currently. The size of that hasn't really changed from what they have right now, but we're eliminating all the cars that would be parked there, so there will be extra room.
And
There won't be actually 9 more buses.
there's
coming
not
in.
gonna be,
It
no.
ain't gonna be 9 more buses.
Well, potentially can be, they're adding 9 classrooms.
Yeah, but they won't,
They won't
you
add,
won't believe how many buses come in big that are empty, but you ought to see the cars that come in there. We can sit there and, we'll figure out, some days we'll count 50, 60, 70 cars
Right.
that are coming in and they're gonna loop back out around and they got, the buses can't get in because the cars are all.
Right.
So this is actually gonna eliminate that car bus coming in. The buses and cars will all come in, but the bus will be able to turn and the cars will be going around.
Yeah, all around the whole building, come out the back,
And-
yeah,
And
okay,
there's a gate out there on the south side that the only time it opens up is when the cars have to leave.
yeah.
okay.
And
And the,
then in terms of the parking, originally, we didn't have that pond on the northwest side. But then we had to add it because of this whole scenario with the 6-inch pipe over on Good Hope. So we did have additional parking on there. So once we added that in, we had to kind of scale it back again, because there just is no more room on the site. And we had to accommodate the storm.
But also here it says there's like a playground area, is that gonna be in that, behind the building there?
It's gonna be on the west side. of the
West
building.
side?
That's where they will be located. There's gym equipment that's there, not gym equipment, but just play equipment that is currently there. That's fairly new that we're gonna relocate over to the other.
Okay, so
to the west.
my only issue or question with that is if cars come through during the day while the kids are out there, is there some
There's a gate, sorry.
gate and stuff?
Yep, there's a
Okay.
gate. You can kind of see on the C 3.0, there's a label with a P just kind of north of where the playground, marking is. There, you can kind of see there's a line with an X.
right here.
Okay, gotcha,
So there would be a gate there, and then there's actually another gate, at the road, so people wouldn't be able to enter in.
okay,
from either end.
okay, perfect, okay, good, good.
And then the dumpster is existing dumpster enclosure, so we're not really creating one new one. It's currently there and it's gonna remain and have a fence around it with boards, so you can't really see inside.
And that's kind of, the current one is it's on the northwest corner of the existing building. You kind of see like a concrete pad in that area.
Mhm.
That's where the dumps, right?
Yep.
So it's not moving at all.
No,
No,
Oh, good.
it's
That
stuck in
light,
the
that
back.
light that you guys got shining down in there that flips on. They got a light on that wall that flips down, so when they take the garbage out. They need to do is change that angle and down, so it only shines there and not.
You live on the north side, don't you?
How'd you guess?
Okay, if I can just tackle a couple things. I see on the air conditioning on the front northeast corner, you're gonna put a chain link fence around it.
Northeast corner.
Of the
Oh,
building, you're adding chain link fence around the air conditioning. Right now, you have wood slats there.
well, we weren't.
I can see it. That's it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. Yeah.
I don't think that was the intention. We are not planning on replacing the fencing over there.
Okay, because if you were, I was gonna say, you need
Yeah,
to hide it better than your chain link.
Yeah.
So then let's, over in the northwest corner of the property where that district, there's a gate down there where the kids used to go in and out. Is that gate gonna be closed off? It's in this corner here on your C300.
Okay,
There's a gate down in there. Is that gonna be closed off?
I don't think we have any intents.
No, we didn't.
Because you got that pond now on this side of that gate.
Yeah, so this is a dry pond. We did not want to put any
Okay.
we did not want to put any.
All
sort
right,
of-
then I'm gonna go on from there then, is you're gonna it looks like you're putting up a chain link fence, a 4-foot chain link fence from the current fencing along that road, tying into the fence back, so you're running a fence chain link like this along that pond. Is there gates on that so you guys can get in there and mow that area?
There should be, there will be. I'll make sure they're added.
Thank you.
Definitely a good point.
You know, I just hate to hear you tearing out all that old playground equipment.
No,
That was,
oh, the old stuff?
the old stuff.
You used to play on that, right?
Yeah, when I was back.
Can you just throw that over the fence?
For old time's sake.
Old time saying.
I watched all the additions. My first school bathroom was right there.
Need to get out for Mike.
Yeah, you might have to leave this town. So that's all I had was just those couple items and, because I noticed that, because that one pond that we're looking at on the northwest area. I see that's about 7 to 8 feet, it could be for depth.
Sorry, that was.
This area, it looks like about 7 to 8 feet of banking down into the bottom of that pond.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanna make sure that it does get mowed around the top, so it doesn't look like a weed fest, cause I know when they had their logs down there where the kids would go down and have classroom. The lawnmower guys never cut it, pretty soon you can't see the logs, so weeds.
Yeah, and the DPW chair is really.
So there's gonna be no more backstop for kickball or baseball or anything like that there, huh?
No,
You won't believe how many kids go over there and play kickball
no.
in the summertime.
So these will be similar to the dry ponds out in front of the high school, I take it then, only deeper.
Yeah,
Got it, picture of it.
yeah, I.
Same thing. The one pond will be for water quality purposes, we'll have to have, the one pond will be more of a biofiltration basin, so that'll have engineered fill underneath it. So that it filter out the sediment, because we really don't want a wet pond with it being a school, so
Sure.
that's really the only other way that we can get meet the requirements for the water quality portion of it, so we meet sediment. So that's why that's a biofiltration basin.
One more item, snow plowing. Where are you gonna plow snow now? That fence down there and that guardrail. That's where they always plowed that whole parking lot down there. And occasionally they would start plowing it up to the north, up towards up on a little bit of hill, up against a chain link fence along them houses.
Yeah, I mean, they could push it down to where the pond on the southeast corner.
I'm just saying is, you know, they're gonna have to figure out how to get it up over them fences into that other pond otherwise.
Yeah, otherwise, yeah, or you could mount it on kind of by the building on the just north of the playground, which I'm sure the kids will love. But, yeah, I mean, that would be our other option. Yeah, there's other option where, because we're getting rid of the access drive, I don't think it's the greatest spot. But you know, they could get pushed kind of on the northeast corner also. Because that now is not pavement. That'll be all grass area. It's not that, I would probably suggest not that area, but sometimes you gotta, you know what I mean?
Just
Yeah,
curious, you know,
yeah.
I mean,
On C 300. You have on the north side parking spaces indicated. As I understand your explanation, you're separating the access point with the buses coming in on the north and the vehicles coming in on the south. I'm assuming that the pupils do not drive themselves to school, and that these parking spots are for the faculty. Are you going to relocate those parking spots, or are you gonna have some conflict between the buses coming from the east and teachers attempting to park there?
He's wondering how, so if there's buses parked right here,
Yeah.
how are the teachers gonna park? Is pretty much the question, right?
Well,
Right.
I mean, teachers, I would hope are here before the buses get here,
yeah,
right? And I mean, if they're gonna come, the buses will, most likely, the majority of the buses will be on the drive closest to the building, right? So if teachers are coming in, they're probably gonna pull forward and then the car behind, like the spot behind them would be empty. I mean, obviously that's
It's a scheduling issue that needs to be
addressed.
addressed.
And these are basically in the same spot as they are currently, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so,
Yeah,
I mean, the
they
buses
already
are traversing that area already and.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not changing that layout.
Yeah, I'm sure the teachers would figure out pretty quick how to get a parking spot before they, but your, maneuver.
They probably know already, because this has been happening for years.
Now, if you're not changing the configuration, but you're adding 9 more classrooms, where are the additional teachers going to park?
We are adding a few parking spots, not a ton, but we are adding a few. We
Four.
added,
5.
Is that reflected on C 300?
yes, we added
You got 5,
Like 5 of them.
5 more.
yeah, it's like 5.
I think originally we were trying to add closer to like 20 or 30, but we put in
Mhm.
with the pond.
And then you've indicated that a possible relocation spot for the snow to be plowed theoretically could be in the northeast corner where that lane is being eliminated, replaced by grass. Is that practical? Does that make sense with all the parked cars?
I
and the
would,
buses
I guess
lined
I
up?
was saying possible locations. I think that needs to be investigated a little closer.
Thank you.
I have a few more questions.
Go ahead.
So, what about the cistern? Anything happening with the existing cistern?
Okay, it's not needed anymore, so we're gonna get rid of it.
Just crush it, fill it
We're
in?
gonna, yeah, we're gonna.
We just need to figure out how to reroute the storm.
Sure.
Because right now the roof drains to it,
Okay,
so that would just be the.
okay. Another question I have is, today, the village just got a, formal agreement in place with DOT, to do a village-wide pedestrian study. One of the key points of interest being the elementary school here. It's gonna be a study led by the village. Presumably, that's gonna come up with some recommendations for how to improve pedestrian access to the school from the various streets. I don't expect you to have considerations for that right now, but is there, could you foresee, if there were to be a future sidewalk or pedestrian path there in the right of way on the west side of Landon Road, basically on the frontage, could you foresee that being in conflict with your plans here, or do you think there's an opportunity for something that could work to allow parents that want to walk their kids to school to do so without being in conflict with your kind of intent for how you're using your entrances?
I guess right now, I'm just kind of thinking of where the existing fence is and everything, so pedestrians would not be able to exit or enter, enter on the south side of site.
Sure.
So they would have to enter on the north side, so if there would be a pedestrian path, we'd probably want some sort of sidewalk that would go from the main entrance of the door to the right of way.
Sure.
And then now you're keeping it away from the main entrance or the driveway entrances too.
You could probably do that right where the old
Don't-
exit drive used
exactly
used to
right.
be, just run a stub of sidewalk straight
Mhm.
out.
That could make sense.
And that would probably be an even better reason why we should reroute the driveways the configuration that we're doing now. Because now you don't have that potential conflict between pedestrians and the traffic. More reason why to do what we're doing.
When do you anticipate that maybe being completed?
So the study, probably over the course of the next year. And then project recommendations would come out of that. So we're talking about by the time anything actually goes in, the village would have to lobby the county. Find funding, even if it's partially funded by DOT. the village and the county. I mean, those DOT funded projects just move slowly. You're talking about 3 years could be fast before it happens. It's, more like 5 years.
And I guess my recommendation would be not to construct that sidewalk on site, because now you're promoting pedestrians to walk to nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
right.
I would-
In the interim,
I would not want to do that now.
No.
I would-
Yep,
Agreed.
agreed.
In that connection, Mr. Grimm mentioned that on the west side of property, I believe on the northwest corner, there is a gate for students to get through. Where did that gate lead to? Does it go onto private property, or is there a sidewalk?
Yeah.
Oh, one to their private driveway there.
Goes
Private
on to
drive.
Good Hope Drive behind Schlafer Auto.
Our favorite private drive.
I believe there's two of them. There's one towards the,
There's one
towards
up on the
west,
south
and then
end,
there's
too.
one.
Yeah, up by the other 3 houses up there, they have a gate there, or not a gate, it's just.
I think it's just open,
fence
yeah, yeah.
For them kids up there that can walk through.
Parkview.
Now, in our younger age, we just jump the fence right there, but.
Are you jumping fences
Sure.
nowadays, Mike?
I can see it.
Well, you with a 6-foot ladder on each side of it.
Yeah.
Would there be any issue for the pedestrian traffic going through there?
Put his mic on.
Since you're, excuse me, would there be any issue for the pedestrian traffic going through there?
On the, so it's the gate, so I don't actually know where the gate is located. Are you saying the gate is located on it's on the northeast corner roughly, where both the north. Northwest, sorry.
Northwest side.
So,
That's all gonna be fenced in.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would we probably want to eliminate or relocate it because of the pond.
Yeah, the pond's gonna be there.
Either that or we reconfigure
The
the.
geese
fence
might wanna
for
use
the
it.
pond.
Now, it
Yeah,
is a
but I
dry
don't-
pond and, I don't know how high that fence is, but
Mhm.
if they're gonna jump the fence.
It's a 5-foot fence.
Yeah.
It's not very high for certain kids. I bet you used to do that.
Always fit right in, they go.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm merely suggesting that you look at that to
Yeah.
avoid conflict down the road.
Yeah.
With people not wanting kids going through their yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
I mean, maybe the gate stays and you need to block for maintenance purposes, you have another access point.
Are any of you able to address some of the photometric concerns specifically that Mr. Wood brought up about along the north property lines?
Yeah, he has the photometrics now.
Right, and there are concerns.
Are they, okay, so
There
we
are.
need to, we'll talk about those.
Yeah.
We just got these today, so we were not able to even like address anything today.
Okay.
So we will definitely tomorrow or when we're to make sure that all his concerns are addressed.
And it could quite honestly be as simple as redirecting some lights, like Commissioner Grimm said, or putting a shield around the back of the fixture to see put off.
Or are we able to, I mean, I assume there's code or statutory requirements that's driving the number of poles that are required here. I mean, is there latitude there that would help this situation?
My opinion, I also just was able to only spend 5 minutes looking at this plan, but my opinion is I don't think it's necessarily a factor of how many poles there are, it's just where the light is directed. I think even as whoever put this together pointed out on the plan, there's existing issues with the existing lights. And if the plan is to not relocate those, that's where, putting on some type of cutoff shield on the fixture or something will go along with. I
Okay,
didn't really see, when I was looking at all these drawings and everything like that, and I used magnifying glass. It don't look like they're adding too many lights on the south or west end of the building. So it's just basically the ones along the north. Property line,
Mhm.
because it's such a narrow area between the parking lot and the fence. You guys got that narrow strip. That when they changed all them lights a couple years back, they put the neons on there. More efficient,
Oh, the
They didn't shield the backside, so they bleed over the fencing area. You know, which is nice, you know, I can watch, you know, anyways in my backyard, but I don't need to really, if you could just, if they could have shielded those a little bit, because I don't, like I said, it doesn't look like you're adding any lights anywhere else on the property at this time.
Well, we are adding some poles throughout, but we've got actually the cut sheets that are associated with this.
This-
And they're meant to all go
930.
down, but we can certainly take a look at that and make sure, you know, even the existing ones, I don't know. I mean, I think there's like 2 or 3 of them up there. We can take a look at what the actual head is and whether that can either be replaced or it can be moved. Some of them tip one way or the other, to get it out of your yard.
There's only one item that I see on the actual plan of operation that was resubmitted. Hours of operation Monday through Friday from 7 to 4. I think they need to change that basically from 6 to like 8, 9 o'clock at night. Even though the kids are out of school, there's still activities going on and this just gives us more leeway. That, you know, most common people will know that, okay, that there is operation there. And then, you know, your Saturdays, Sundays, normally nobody's around or anything like that, so I think you just wanna change that to 6 to 10 o'clock, would you say, Jeff?
I would say,
6 AM to 10 PM,
Nothing on the weekends ever?
rarely there,
very rare,
very rarely.
that's when the kids go over and play, you know, the roof and stuff like that.
Cause I know like when we do the bike rodeo and stuff over there with the police department, they do that over there, but.
It's not operating school.
Right. I just didn't know if that counted or if we're just trespassing over there.
Utilizing public
These
space.
vagrants, I tell you.
Gypsies.
Utilizing public space.
It was mentioned by the village engineer that there should be a reflection of the easement for the water line on the south entrance. My question to him would be, are there any particular specs that have to be followed in the design of that driveway to protect the line from being compromised by the vehicle traffic that may come in there?
Just quite simply, we would have installed the water main with 6.5 feet of cover over the top of the pipe. Wisconsin requirements for this climate zone is 6 feet of cover. So there's a little extra half a foot there. So as long as the surface grade isn't being lowered by more than 6 inches, we don't have a problem. If it's gonna be lowered by more than that, then we'd have to talk about the putting some insulation in the ground. Something of that type.
It doesn't sound like anything insurmountable here.
Are there any other questions relating to the site? No, could you talk about something like that?
Mhm.
Site. They want to look at some sample boards.
Brought some samples. Probably didn't need to bring my own stone. You guys have a wall of it. Right? Could have saved a little bit of room there. So on the, I believe it's have our, I can split.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
You wanna point over here and make.
Yeah, that's a lot easier. Make it seem heavier than. Oh, so I believe you guys have some elevations in your drawing set. So what we're trying to do with the exterior of it is match and complement the existing. So we're using the landing stone in a little bit different fashion than the existing building. It just happens to be yours. We're taking it across the entire base of the building just because the ESS material that we're putting on top really doesn't want to have ground contact. So it doesn't really keep well. And then we are putting a cast stone sill on top of it with then it fits, which will match the existing on top of that. So that's the majority of the materials there. Then we will be doing all of our windows in a clear anodized aluminum to match the existing with the white building out. So the window layout, everything is all to complement what's existing there. Are there any questions or concerns? laid out.
And then architectural standard is that it blends in with the existing building or the perimeter.
That was the goal. One to second.
Yes, I think what we're looking for, or what I think we should try to do is provide a conditional approval so that they can get going and keep this project moving along. And coordinate with staff, some of the highlighted issues, that's kind of where I'm leaning.
Basically, none of this is construction, it's all stage stuff, so.
Yep.
We're just saying, vision on the building, as long as the answer to all your questions, Ben, that we have.
Site.
They've provided, again, the stormwater management plan, we'll take a look at that and think of site photometric, they're gonna have to do something to reduce the lighting at the north property boundary. And if they can accomplish that, and we'll check other boxes about just demonstrating that the county's okay with it, Falls Fire Department's okay with it.
Well, those are the three items you know what for, it's stormwater,
Stormwater, lighting. They provided a landscape plan, which technically requires plan commission approval, and it's
Yes.
just been provided, it's not been reviewed, so I have to decide what you want to do about that. But stormwater lighting, landscape plan, and then provide documentation from the county and from the fire department. That's what we review.
no, there's nothing really holding this up.
In my opinion, no. Before we got the stormwater management plan and the site photometrics today, I would have been looking more forward, I think, with my letter, let's table this and wait and see. But it looks like they've done that due diligence here, and we just need to check and go back and forth a little bit. And quite frankly, we've worked with JSD and other communities also and have that report, so I feel good about being able to wrap it up.
I actually have some extra ones here in the landscape and then, I'm right there, some Brian and people here. He already has one. If you wanted to see the fact that it's really only a couple of pieces. Some beautification for the process, things like that.
I'd be happy to share the screen if anybody wants to see it, or,
There's 3 copies here. I didn't know how many people there would be. And then.
you wanna pass that around?
I won't need to see it
You
all, I
won't
see
see
it pretty,
right.
that's all I have to work on. Yellow piece.
Yeah, well, I mean, working with the team from Cullen and JSD, I think that we should all feel comfortable doing a conditional approval. I will
Motion.
download this though.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, usually that's Mike's job, but if you want, I will make a motion to conditionally approve the Lannon Elementary School addition and renovation plans as presented contingent upon, notes from, engineer Wood being satisfied. Is that enough of a motion, Patrick?
Should mention the plan of operation amendment.
Oh, yeah, we said on the plan of operation that we should extend the hours of operation to include all possible scenarios for occupancy. And
Say 6 AM to 10 or 6 AM to 10 PM.
Yes, 6 to 10, and then if you wanted us to include like a weekend. I know it doesn't happen very often, but.
weekends as necessary, maybe just, it's better to have too much than not enough, right?
Yes, yeah.
Is the thought there. And then also we, in that motion, we want to talk about the final approval from the Menominee Falls Fire Department regarding location and count of additional hydrants and blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
So include your,
That concludes my motion, as long as everybody's good with that. Do we hear?
include the blah, blah, blah also? I'm familiar with that term.
or can we do dot, dot, dot?
That.
I'm so professional. I'm so sorry.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Mike gets a second. You're the neighbor.
I'm gonna say that I'm on the playground.
Yeah, I say.
All right, we have a motion, a second. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Motion carries to conditionally approve with all of the items mentioned in the motion, including the blah, blah, blah.
When do you think they're gonna start moving dirt and stuff like that? When do you guys anticipate?
And, we'll apply for permit right away, it's gonna be permit, I would say mid to second, September.
Or you could be ideal.
Third.
I mean, by then I can have my chairs in there.
We don't need super that, let's hire you.
you provide a cooler? Yeah.
You heard that, or do I, or should I get a different color?
Oh, yeah.
He'll be watching anyway. You might as well put him on staff.
Yeah, that's one of the best neighbors to have, is that school in your backyard. The kids playing, it's just great entertainment.
Thank you very much.
All right, good.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, a second to adjourn. Any discussion? All in favor?
I.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Yes, sir.
On your, referendum.
Yes, sir.
3 years and went back and forth, trying to get one of them there. They put out information, they were having meetings all the time.
Glad, Joe.
Anything to the way. That's what I said. He wasn't here. Even Roosevelt had their plans together this week.
You're in good shape.
Oh, so nice.
I got so many marbles around.
Right?
Yeah,